Number of dependents. I don't know what you mean. Dependents. Or then what you mean? Can you explain? When the alimony is granted, when? Yes, I put you the question. When is the alimony granted? When is it granted? When? At which moment do we speak of alimony? When they're divorced. Can is the male granted the alimony? Because most of the time it is granted to the female. Is it granted to the male too? Is the alimony granted to the male? Okay. I think that in the law it is also granted to the male. Can you tell me again how is it calculated? How? Because I didn't catch you. How is it calculated? Yes, Ms. You spoke of the factors that determine the calculation of the alimony. I want you to say it again for me. The financial resources. You speak loudly, I know that.
We take into consideration financial resources.
Of the spouse. Yes. It is calculated for 1/3 or 2/3. Suppose that the husband got 1 million. What will be the part given to one of the wife?
Equitable distribution is the distribution of property and debt obligation used by courts in most states when dividing marital property during the divorce proceedings. Equitable distribution does mean equal division.
Yes.
It means fair division. Instead of the strict 50-50 split in which each spouse receives exactly 1/2 of the property acquired during the marriage. The doctrine of equitable distribution is used to look at the future financial situation of each spouse after the termination of the marriage. While equitable distribution is a flexible system, it is difficult to predict the actual outcome of distribution because some of the factors that courts take into consideration when dividing property during equitable distribution are subjective. The equitable distribution laws allow judges to distribute property equitably or fairly between the husband and wife, regardless of who has title of a property. In dividing the property, judge considered such things as the head and individual earning power of each spouse, the length of the marriage, and the contribution of each spouse to the marriage, including the value of homemaking service. Within states where equitable distribution is not used, a different system called community property is the way property is divided at divorce. A minority of states, namely California, Arizona, Idaho, Louisiana, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin follow the community property system.
Okay. All right. I fully understood. So the equitable, yes, please, the equitable distribution. Okay, it is to divide the properties in a fair way. Okay. Is it, do you think that this exists near Côte d'Ivoire? Yes. Oh. Yes, of course. And this occurred at which moment? The equitable distribution occurs at which moment? In which sort of marriage? In which sort of marriage? Can we speak of equitable distribution in case of okay, of course, when there is divorce, but I am speaking about the sort of marriage that can allow you to take advantage in the equitable distribution of the assets. And then they come on. And then they come on. They come on property. That is the common property. In case your properties are not put together, there is no equitable distribution. It's the way it works. When you deal with the common property, in this case, once there is the dissolution of the marriage, all the spouses, the two spouses, both they two are granted this equitable distribution of the assets. But if the properties are separate, it's normal that there is any equitable distribution. That's the way it works. Okay, let's continue.
Describe the difference between sole and joint custody.
Yes. I think that this is simple.
The guardian concerns the care of giving to the child. It determines to whom it means making the important decisions on the life of the child. As the guardian does not amount to decide on the place where the child lives, it determines who can make the important decisions on his life, the education, the religion, and the medical care. The guardian also concerns the given physical care to the child, of whom the place where the child lives, and the daily decisions on his education. The guardian of a child can return to more than one person. There are several types of custody fees: sole custody and joint custody. The difference between sole and joint custody is that sole custody gives all parents rights, that is, and powers between the parents. Nevertheless, joint custody divides the rights, that is, and power between the parents. Under sole custody, the children live with the custodial parents and visitation rights are given to the non-custodial parents. Under joint custody, the children live with each parent at different times.
At different times. And what is the custody? What do you mean by custody?
The custody is also called the guardian of the child.
Okay, of the child. All right. Okay, and then I will distinguish between the sole and the joint custody.
Because the sole custody is better,
Is better. For the development of the children. Okay, this is a matter of consideration. As for me, I feel it go back too. But you have your arguments. It's better for you. Okay, all right. I will ask you any more questions. Okay. Yes. Let's continue, and then I will give you a break. Yes. Have you finished?
the last one.
Sorry. All your exercises you finished? Not yet.
Critical thinking activity. What do you think might happen if a uniform reciprocal offer and enforcement support are when support acts were not enforced in all states.
Okay, what do you think?
If the Uniform Reciprocal Enforcement Support Act were not forced in all states, many custodial parents would have had some financial difficulties to educate, nourish, and maintain their children. This situation could push some custodial parents to abandon their children in the streets. Many custodial parents will fight for creating rules on the subject of support of children whose parents are divorced. Also, it wouldn't have any justice in the case of children custody.
Okay, all right. Do you have some questions, class? Neil, I put you questions. Yeah, we are speaking about, I think, when we took over the custody, we took over the dissolution of the marriages and also the children. What are the negative aspects of divorce?
The children suffer.
Sorry?
The children suffer of this situation.
Okay. All right. So, do you think that the fact that there is more insecurity, I'm thinking of the situation of Côte d'Ivoire, there is insecurity in Côte d'Ivoire, it is linked to the divorce in our country, because people say that when there are 10 marriages, there are 9 divorces. This is what people used to say. And the question I put you is, do you see any relationship between the divorce and the insecurity in Côte d'Ivoire? No relationship between this situation and the security? Yes, no? Yes. Okay. And if you were the president of Côte d'Ivoire, what sort of measures are you going to take to prevent the divorces? If you were the president, if I were the president. Sorry?
For me, divorce
You won't do anything?
No, actually, yes. If I were the president, I would take into
I will prohibit divorce.
Sorry?
I will prohibit divorce.
You will prohibit the divorce? Okay. She will prohibit the divorces. Okay, all right. This is okay. I understand. She may be right, because formerly, divorce wasn't permitted. It's now that divorce is permitted. Okay, all right. This is her point of view. She would prohibit the divorces. Yeah, because of course, when they say divorce or divorces, the causes of many problems. The disintegration of the family represent a great problem in our community. So, for Miss, what's your name? Miss Kwame, she would prohibit the divorces. You get married and it's forever, like Miss Mirna. Okay, all right. And can you debate the last? Do you have the last one to do? It's finished. You finished. Thank you. We are listening to you.
Good morning, my name is Good Morning Class. We are present to expose our exercises. My name is Bilingue.
Can you shut the door? Shut the door because there's too much noise outside.
My name is Bilingue.
Why don't you speak loudly? Speak loudly. For them.
My name is Elise.
My name is Nonga.
Your name is?
Nonga.
Okay. Have you given me your paper? You don't have, you just have one. After that, I will.
Introduction. The particular case related to our study is related to the waiting. The facts are the following: Carlos Soledad and Novia Chaveri married. Novia discovered that Carlos never divorced his first wife, who is living and still asks the surname Soledad. Went to Michelle Weber, her husband, Albert's death in an automobile accident after 12 years of marriage. Several years after she received a marriage proposal from Albert's widowed step-father. Likewise, Jacqueline Pressy recently married Marie, a resolute feminist. Asked her husband to assume a maiden name as a surname. Mary is willing to assume the name Percy, but is also of the legality of using his wife's surname. Then Charles gave John Shively and engagement ring were $3,600. When they became engaged, less than a month later, Shively told me that he was not ready for marriage. Jill requested that Shively return the engagement ring, but she refused to do so. At last, 2 months after divorcing baby Gloria Gunter, a drug teacher. Gunter was not well acquainted with Peters and assumed that he was not married. She later learned that Peter was still married and had deceived her into thinking he was divorced. It is clear from this fact is the following problem. What are the legal requirements for marriage and what are the people? To respond to this concern should be analyzed. On one hand, the marriage requirements and also the effect. The legal requirement for marriage. Two problems submitted to us have. Is Mitchell free to marry Terry? What legal rights in these stations? Is Jill entitled to the return of the ring? To answer these problems, we analyze different case by case. A. For Michelle Weber.
Okay, so you say that there are two problems that are raised. Okay, two legal problems that are raised, yes.
For Michelle Weber.
Michelle Weber was married to Albert Weber for 12 years. Several years after Albert's death in an automobile accident, Michelle received a marriage proposal from Albert in those stepfather, David. Is Michelle free to marry Terry? In principle, all the country forbidden to marry same member of family, sisters and brothers, stepfather or stepmother, and a stepson and stepdaughter. According to law, according to law, alcohol on the marriage, indirect line the marriage is bad between an of the family and prestige in each marriage. Convent, when the marriage is celebrated, it will to be said a card for the law. But in the case where the of this person is pronounced, the marriage is immediately dissolved and then the marriage is possible. Then, Mitchell and his stepfather cannot marry in reason of the law by the familial relation, but the same law can authorize the marriage before the death to other women.
Okay, what do you mean by a proposal marriage? Yes. What is it? What is the marriage proposal? What do you mean?
Proposal of marriage is when the person ask the other person in marriage.
And that's what we call the marriage proposal. Are you sure? Okay. All right. As you, don't you see any similarities between what we call the engagement and the marriage proposal? You don't see any similarities. There is no similarity between marriage proposal and the engagement. They're not the same, or are they the same? Yes or no? No. There are no difference. So they're no similar. Marriage proposal and engagement, you don't see any similarity. And what is the engagement? Because as for me, it seems to me that both they two are the same. You see that the proposal, so the marriage proposal, it is when someone asks you to get married, okay. And the engagement, what is the engagement? What is involved with the engagement? The engagement between two persons, it is what is it? It is a yes or no question. It's the same, it's not the same. It's the same. Where you say that, first of all, you say that there is no similarity. Of course, it's the same. It's the same, of course. Okay, we continue.
For Jacqueline, what are legal rights in this situation?
Jacqueline, the second marriage may be a resolution is Percy asked the husband to assume a married name as a surname. David is willing to assume the name Percy, but to be sure on the legality of using his wife's surname. What are David's rights in these situations? Under common law, people may use any name provided, but don't do so commit fraud. It is the case, for example, when a wife doesn't have to adopt a husband name. Between brackets, last name. Indeed, when a wife marries, she takes immediately the surname of her husband. Between brackets, Article 57 of our law marriage. Nevertheless, the law permits her to substitute a name both of her spouse or add a minor name to surname of her husband, but she won't do after authorization of her husband a petition to judge which authorizes also the use of a she witnessed the name everywhere. In the final analysis, Jacqueline Pesci will be good use of her name because the law authorizes her, but she will use a maiden name with the consent of the husband and authorization of due by petition.
Yeah, do you have some questions? Here, it's about the feminism. It is, no? What do you mean through this expression? Because this is a concept. What do you mean through this concept of feminism? What does it mean, the feminism? What is it that developed through the concept of feminism?
Feminist is a person defending the right of women's.
Who fight for the women's rights?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And can you give me one of the rights that the women are fighting for?
Equality.
Equality.
Equality between man and women.
Between male and female. Okay. All right. That is one of their fights. Okay. But here, what is it about?
Jacqueline wants to use a maiden name.
What is it called, the maiden name?
Maiden name is a name. Maiden name.
Yes, it is
Young girl.
okay, this is the family name of the woman. Okay. All right. So she wanted to keep her maiden name after the marriage. All right. There is the reasons why we finish is the feminist, because through the concept of feminism, those persons, they fight to be the equal, as she said, to be the equal of the males. And among that, this is the keeping of the maiden name, for example. Okay, all right. You, what do you think of the concept of Jacqueline? What do you think of her? What is your point of view?
It is good for me.
Yes, of course.
Because she defends.
She defends.
She defends. She affirms.
She asserts things.
She asserts things.
Yes. The values.
Value of female and woman. She assumes a role in the society, face to face, husband.
Face to face. All right. Yes. Yes, of course. Okay. Good. Yes, yes.
I defend.
You speak loud.
I defend because for me, the mom is a master. Family.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so you think that Miss Jacqueline has no reason to be a feminist? Yeah, look at her. You look at her. For her, the man is the master.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay, this is your point of view. And you, what do you think? Do you share her view? What do you think? Sorry? Sorry, I didn't get you, I'm sorry. Do you feel that she's right? So I didn't get you, can you speak loudly? You have nothing to say. You don't have any comment. Okay. All right. So this is a matter of consideration. She thinks that Jacqueline is she's a good lady because she fights. She stands for the women's rights. For you, the male, the master. So we don't need to complain. So it's normal to take, and for you, it's normal to take the husband's name. There is. Yeah. Okay. It is a matter of consideration. But what I want you to understand is that the law, all the laws, they've been enacted by the males. You understand? So they want you to think that they are the master, but they're not the masters. Why? Why should they be the master? They're nothing at all. Look at them, those males. Look at them. They're nothing at all. You to fight, madame. You to fight to stand for your rights. When you see in the United States of America, the women, they fought. Formerly, even in France, when did women started voting in France? When? What's your name? Sorry? Blake Grass. If the women didn't fight, you, Miss Blake Grass, probably that you would be in your village cultivating the lands, and your husband will be the master. You prefer that. Hey, you lawyer, forget about it. You have to fight. You have to be a feminist. We all are equal. This is the United Nations Charter, la Charte des Nations Unies, that all people in the world, they are born equal. This is equality. Okay, this is my point of view. This is also your point of view. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. So I think, okay, so she wanted to keep her maiden name. Okay, and then you. I feel like you're good with her. But Miss Blake, she wanted to keep the name of her husband. Just still.